Delighted to welcome on my next guest. Always a pleasure to have this man on the show. He is, since we last spoke, the BAMMA Lonsdale lightweight champion. It is Mr. Rhys McKee. That stunning victory over Jai Herbert back at BAMMA here in Dublin just before Christmas there, I think it was. Rhys, first of all, always a pleasure, man, to have you on. How are things with you, my bud?
All good, man. Thanks for having me back. Always a pleasure on my side as well. So glad to get a chat again.
Definitely, yeah. You're the champion, obviously, Rhys, since we last spoke. I just want to, you've a fight coming up, obviously, at BAMMA 27 in Belfast. You were supposed to fight Miles Price, but now the opponent's going to be Chris String. I'll talk about that in a second, but I want to go back a little bit, obviously, to that fight, winning the title. Incredible night, best night of your career. Just sum up the emotions, what it felt like that night.
Oh, amazing night. I knew these nights would come in my career, but I didn't think it'd maybe be 15 months into my pro career. So to have the result and to be even considered fighting for the belt at this early on, it's a real honour. And to clinch the belt and the way I done it and in front of the crowd that was there, it was unbelievable. Really, it'll be hard to top that night.
It was a stunning performance from you. I think, again, it's sort of people... not expecting you to win in such amazing fashion as you did against a tough guy like Jai Herbert. With all the emotions going in with your father passing away, was it tough on fight night to keep the head in check? Because you looked super focused coming out.
No, man. See the minute that fight was signed, my head was screwed on. I was focused, ready to go. If anything, at times, with the whole situation that went on, it drew me on. And come fight night, when I was walking to that cage, I was coming back with that belt. It wasn't an option of, I might win the belt here. It was like me and Rodney were saying, like literally just go get it. There it is sitting there, go get it, and that was what we done, and we brought it back.
I mentioned to you after the fight, I was sort of chatting to you in the hallway and just in the interview room after as well, that a lot of people were surprised how good you are off the back foot as well, and you told me you were super comfortable. That your striking looks even better than it was maybe 12 months ago again, in relation to some of the little technical aspects that you're implementing in your game. Is that fair to say? Yeah,
100%. It was good on the night. There was still a lot of things I do. People don't realise after a fight, I'll watch my performance back as if I was my new opponent.
Okay.
And I pick holes in my own game. So I've been working on a few stuff, that I didn't like, that I've been seeing. So
what didn't you like?
Hmm?
What didn't you like that you saw?
A few times, like when Jai was opening, I kind of covered up, and I was watching it like, what am I doing? Like, that's not something I should be doing in there. So there'll be none of that. Like, there'll be head movement. There'll be no hiding behind my hands kind of stuff. I wasn't happy with that, but that's been ironed out, like, and that's gone from now on in.
And another thing, obviously saw you after the fight in the hotel as well. And he presented with the belt. It was Mr. Mark Diakese, obviously one of the up-and-coming young fighters in the UFC, was a former BAMMA Lonsdale champion. I thought it was a great moment for Mark to do that. Sort of the young guard, passing it on even to the younger guard, which was pretty cool. You were talking with Mark quite a lot. What did he say to you? Did he give you any words of advice or anything?
He did. Me and Mark had a good chat. Me and Mark were chatting for a few hours.
Yeah, great guy.
Like, Mark's put the blueprint out there, and I was basically congratulating him on his career so far and how he set the blueprint up. And I was asking him when he won the belt, like what way did he go about it? And I've took a few things out of his book and I'm implementing it in my own now. So now he's put the blueprint out there, and I'm gonna use his journey as much as I can to fuel my own.
Definitely. Have you noticed any changes in your life in relation to maybe sponsorship interest, things like that, since you've won the BAMMA Lonsdale title?
Just a lot of mad messages. I get messages, people wanting me to wish their son happy birthday and stuff like this, and the kids around the gym are asking for photos and stuff like that. Wee stuff, but from sponsors, like my sponsors, I've been blessed from an early amateur. Like, I have a great sponsorship. It's actually entitled me now. I train full time. I don't work full time, so. Like, without my sponsors, I'd be super lost. This is my first fight full time, and like without them, I'd be lost, honestly.
Definitely. Is that something you like taking on board? You said the kids there. Do you feel as though maybe you could be the face of this new generation, especially up north of the border here on the island of Ireland? There seems to be a real strong emergence of talent. We know it's obviously been there, but it's finally sort of coming through at the moment. Do you feel, though, as you could be the face for that generation of the young kids that maybe to look up to? Is it something you embrace and take on board?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's all down to I'm one of them. Like, I'm always around the gym the way I was 2 or 3 years ago. There's not a thing different in my eyes. Although these kids ask for the photos, they're not a thing different from me to them. I literally started where they're at, and I think maybe they can relate to that and see I'm just a kid from 10 minutes up the road. So, like, it's there for anybody who really wants it, but you have to really want it, and that's what it boils down to.
Definitely. Well, you certainly seem to, and you've implemented everything you said you do so far. So credit to you, Rhys. Rhys, obviously, was supposed to be Miles Price. He got injured. Any words for Miles? I know you're quite disappointed this fight didn't happen.
I was talking some nonsense on Twitter about how he's the champ and all, and basically the only thing I had to say to Miles was this is a fully grown man calling himself a magician or Magic Miles. What all has he done magic bar disappear for a few years? You know what I mean? There's absolutely nothing magic about this man.
Chris Stringer's the new opponent now. Obviously a vet in the scene. I think last time he fought Paul Redmond in BAMMA in Dublin. Just your thoughts on the opponent change. Is it unsettling? It's something that seemed to happen to you a couple of times in the past. Is there going to be any difference?
No, I'm delighted. I'm delighted Chris stepped up. The first thing I put out was a tweet. Basically saying props to you. For staying professional, staying to your word and being ready. I think it's a better fight. I think Miles hasn't really done much his whole career, where Stringer's fought the top of the top. Yeah. He's been in a couple of people were saying the time he fought was it Rich Clemente on TV and stuff. People know who Chris Stringer is. So, for me to have that fight, it's a great win for me, and it's a win I'm confident I'm going to get. But even to share the cage with someone that experienced, I'm really interested, from a skill set and to feel his experience in there. But trust me, I'm going in nothing more than a finish and a win's going to be good enough for me.
Yeah, I mentioned to you, Rhys, and I mentioned to you when I obviously found out that the fight was off with Miles. I thought that you'd have problems getting an opponent. Was there many guys that were willing to step in on short notice to face a guy like you?
Through the grapevine, there wasn't. I heard there was a good few guys that were offered it, and I'm not saying that they turned the fight down because of me, but I think a lot of them were already booked, and 4 weeks is short notice. That you need to be preparing already for that. So I'm sure Chris Stringer was. No, a lot of guys turned it down. I got offered another guy from England, but I was looking through his record and he fought bums, and that was why, to be honest, I picked to go with Chris Stringer. His record's legit. He fought Paul Redmond last, and it's a fight that excites me. I'm really excited for it.
Definitely. Do you have to be a little bit more careful against a guy like Chris Stringer, because an older jack of the trade, he's the little tricks that might be able to upset you a little bit more than anyone else? Is this almost, maybe the toughest challenge of your career so far?
I know. Chris, as you said, Chris has a lot of wee tricks. Where do you see my tricks? I've got them next gen tricks. We're the new age. I think I'm the dangerous fighter here. I think for me, any opponent, I'm a nightmare to fight. You don't know what's coming. Yes, Chris, I think the most dangerous thing for him is his experience. I'm sure he believes he's seen people like me before, but I know he hasn't. I know no one has.
Do you think it's the toughest opponent of your career? Do you think you've fought tougher guys?
Okay, no, I'd say I'll go with saying it is. Well, when you count experience and stuff, I'd say it is my toughest test. I'd say so.
So talk to me. With a win here, where does this put you in division? What's it? You talked about obviously that world title, but Norman's in there now with Paul Redmond. What's the next move for you? Maybe with a win here in this fight.
Go after more veterans. I know a goal of mine after this. A goal of mine after this would be to fight. A UFC veteran, or maybe the fight Dickie Dalton got. I'd like to fight someone who's been in tough, or in the UFC. That would be a good goal of mine, to get a scalp from one of them. But listen, I'll take whatever I can. Obviously, I believe Norman's going to win that world title, so I think we'll just have to run the lightweights for now. But a few more defences, and I believe I'll be on to big things.
100%. It must be really special for you, and obviously Norman and Andy as well. You're all fighting pretty close to home, in that SSE arena. That must be an incredible. It's going to be an incredible night for you. So close to home, it's a stone throw from Ballymena there.
Big time. I keep listening to wee songs, that I could use as an entrance song, and I just get that like spine tingling chill down the back of my neck. So
it's
going to be a special night.
Is it tougher almost? Because there's going to be expectations on you.
No, it's not tougher. I'll relish. Honestly, I'm going to relish on that. I cannot wait. Like I can't describe what I'm trying to say to people, but trust me, the 24th of February, you will see what's going to happen. Like it's going to be an amazing night, and like for all of us, it's going to be special.
What are we going to see? Or when you see more of that diverse stand-up skill set, you're obviously going to be looking for that early finish again, Rhys. Tell us about some of the tricks, if you can, that you're going to implement on fight night.
You're just going to see a spectacle. You're going to see controlled aggression, I'm just looking forward to letting it all go. I've been working a lot in my wrestling and grappling, so I wouldn't actually mind showing that. But I said that against Jai, I would grind him out a wee bit. Yeah. And if these finishes keep coming, I'm not going to be disappointed. But I'm just ready.
Is that something you almost work harder on, Rhys? Is the wrestling and the grappling side of it, because no one has been able to test you there really yet. You've finished your 5 pro opponents so handily, with your striking ability. Is there more emphasis on that to protect you in case someone tries to take you down and ultimately does get you to the ground?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, there is. We're a step ahead of our opponents. We're preparing for that already. So I would love. And honestly, I would love if Chris Stringer come out and try to shoot a double leg or grind me up against the cage. I'd love to show people what I can do in there. It's somewhere I'm super comfortable now. I believe the finish will come in the feet. I would like a good striking fight, but I'm definitely embracing the grind, and I welcome the grind. So if Chris wants to bring that type of fight, I'm totally happy with that. I'll win there.
Definitely, yeah. If you saw Chris's last fight against Paul, it was he's a really tough veteran, so it's going to be a fascinating fight. Just one last one for you, Rhys. I do appreciate the time. Is this a coming out party, do you feel? Is this maybe the UFC Dublin a couple of years ago for Northern Irish mixed martial arts with the talent that's on display? Is this your night for the real coming out party for you guys up there?
Possibly. I think it's going to be bittersweet. I think we're going to realise how when the night's all done, we're going to say, we should have been on that UFC card a few months ago. Yeah. I think the UFC are really going to watch it. I think, we missed a beat there, but it's going to be the biggest night for now. But like, take 2 or 3 years down the line, and there's going to be huge nights in Belfast and Dublin, and 100%. So that'll surpass any of this. But for now, this will be amazing.
Rhys, where can the guys find you? I do appreciate the time. Where can the guys find you on social networks, etc.?
Rhys McKee against Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Everywhere. That's me.
Big thanks to the BAMMA Lonsdale champion, Mr. Rhys McKee, for stopping by on the show this week. Rhys, I do appreciate the time. Always a pleasure, my friend, to talk to you.
Thank you, Niall. Thank you, man.
Nice one, buddy.